Go.
What that goal was definitely caught in this anyway. What's up, everyone? Sean Sheehan here with Graham McDonald along with me, who has no camera, but we're here to talk about the UFC Dublin announcement for a quick 5 minutes or so. Just after being announced, PT announced it over in MMA Fighting, and there's an article up as well on SevereMMA.com. 27th of May this year, 2017, coming back to the O2 Arena, the Tree Arena in Dublin. So Graham, what's your reaction to this? Are you looking forward to this card coming back? We thought it mightn't come back this year at all, but it seems like they are now.
Yeah, kind of doesn't really make all that much sense time-wise with Joe Duffy just having gone under surgery. He's out for 6 months with Connor obviously not going to fight in a fight night anyway, and this is going to be a fight night, and more than likely it's on a Sunday as well, so there's no chance of him being on it pretty much. It seems a bit weird timing, but maybe they're thinking if Carl Moore can capture that second title in Cage Warriors, the heavyweight title and the light heavyweight title, and maybe if Rhys McKee can win the world title, and then you have Richie Smullen. I'm not sure how the timing lines up with the Ultimate Fighter, but depending on how that went, maybe they'll put him in there as well. Gunnar Nelson's obviously available as well, with a bit of an adopted Irish son. Artem Lobov, maybe if he can come out with too long of a medical suspension after his fight with Alex Caceres, maybe they can put him on. So it doesn't make the most sense, but it's definitely doable, and you can put on a couple of decent fights, and I think the Irish fans will go either way.
What do you think of the guys? Kind of okay. We know Artem will probably on the card, as you said, if he comes out unscathed at Alex Caceres' fight. Joseph Duffy's the other guy in the UFC, and he's obviously injured. 6 months is unlikely he'll be back for that. Niall reported that last week. Richie Smullen, you'd think he'd be on the card no matter how he gets on in tough. What about the guys? You mentioned Carl Moore there. I'd say he's probably the most likely guy to get signed. Anyone else you think? What about Paul Redmond? What is he, 3-1 since he left the UFC? I think if I was to pick someone, I think he'd probably be the lock for me to be on that card if they are going to sign someone. Norman Park as well. Is he? I think he's won 1-1 since, but with a couple of good fights. Do you think them two lads are likely to get on it?
I don't think they're likely. I don't think Norman's likely because they cut him when he was doing well. So I don't think it was a record thing, but I wouldn't be all that surprised if he was called in maybe on short notice or something like that. Redzer makes a lot of sense. The Team Rhino crowd will be behind him. He's looked really good recently. He kind of didn't get a fair shake in the UFC. He was down in a weight class he doesn't fight at, and he was fighting people like Mirsad Bektic. So it was kind of a hard road for him. So like I'd like to see him back in there, but I think the Carl Moore thing, if he wins the second belt, there'll be a lot of articles and a bit of attention. First man since Conor McGregor to hold 2 titles in Cage Warriors kind of stuff. So I think he's the most likely of everybody who's not signed to be signed. But I think if Rhys can win the BAMA quote world title, then I think he stands a really good chance as well. And as we said, Smullen, and then Artem, Gunnar. So there's a lot of interest there, and then maybe get like a heavyweight fight on like they tried to do the last time, even though it did fall apart. It was Stipe and Ben Rothwell. Maybe they might put a similar matchup like that to where Stipe was at the time. Obviously, Stipe won't be on it now as he's the champion, but maybe somebody Overeem or somebody like that, or Verdum, or some big heavyweight fight to kind of bring in a few more casuals.
Yeah, definitely. Any chance of McGregor being on it?
Zero chance.
Yeah.
Well, there's never, nothing's ever zero, but it's minuscule.
It's very odd as well. It's on a Sunday, isn't it? I wonder what to think of that happening on Sundays. Yeah, that's
well, it looks like there's a bank holiday in England the next day, so maybe they thought England is Ireland. We wouldn't be surprised if they thought that.
Yeah. Good news for me in that it's on my birthday. Bad news for me, I have a wedding that day, so I won't be able to go. So it's get
your priorities straight. None of this religious ceremonies. You need to go into the MMA.
Religious ceremonies. The wedding is the day before, the drinking sessions the day after.
That's fair enough. That's understandable. If the religious ceremony, I wouldn't be having any of that.
Exactly. Yeah. But before we go, we just jumped on here a quick 10 minutes, 5 minutes. What do you think the headliner? Do you think Gunnar Nelson is likely to be the headliner?
Yeah, I think so. It could be Artem as well, but I think it's probably more likely to be Gunnar. I hope it's against somebody good, like a Darren Till fight would be huge. Obviously, it's probably a bit too big, but you never know what's happened between now and May. Like a lot can change and everything can shift. it's really hard to tell, but I'd say Gunnar's probably the early front runner.
Yeah, I think Gunnar Darren Till, I don't think that's too big. I think that's a good fight. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. A good fight. Gunnar Nelson, Cowboy Cerrone as well, I think would be a good fight. You know, we saw Cowboy fight Darren Till over in Poland, so he's willing to travel. You know, he takes all those fights. He'll have no problem doing that. But I suppose, you know, that'll come out over the next couple of weeks. But I suppose, last thing here before we go, the Irish point of view, you'd be hoping for Artem to be on that card. Richie Smullen, you know, Paul Redmond, Carl Moore, you know, a few more as well. The likes of, look, Kiefer Crosby, Dylan Chuk, Will Fleury, all them guys now have a chance. They all have, well, most of them I think have fights coming up.
I think it's a bit close for the last few. You listen, like it's what, end of February now, and this is end of May, and they all have fights lined up. So you never know, but I think it's maybe a bit quick.
Yeah, but there's a big opportunity for all those guys to impress, you know, get their name out there, you know, and there's a big opportunity for all those guys coming up. So
definitely stay ready on short notice. Even people like Peter Queally, if you just make sure you're in shape and ready to go, and somebody falls apart on a couple of weeks to go or on fight week, you can step right in there and get a UFC contract. So I'd say there'd be a lot of people preparing themselves as if they're fighting, even if they're not announced on the card.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. That's us for the evening. We'll talk about it more in the SevereMMA podcast. It'll be out probably Sunday night, Monday morning. So please check that out. You follow me on Twitter @SeanSheehanBA. Follow Graham @SevereMMA. And that's it. We'll see you next Tuesday.